Hi, this is guitarist Denis Taaffe, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Bargain Bin Amps. And in this episode, we're going to look at a practice amplifier, right? And it's called the Spark practice amplifier, and it's been a pretty well hyped amplifier. And basically it's a 40 watt amplifier with two built-in speakers. And the big deal is that basically it's pretty well constructed, and it's by Positive Grid, right? It does a lot of the modeling and things. And what makes this amp special compared to other practice amps is, of course, that it has the, software with it, iOS software. And basically, it's a Bluetooth speaker with an amp built in. It has two little, I think they're like 4.5-inch speakers. Has a headphone jack, and pretty much looks like a little amplifier here. And here it is. You can see it there. And so basically, this is from my friend in Indianapolis who let me borrow it. Very first thing, I've got a few things to say about it. Is one, the Tolex is very fragile on it, I had a bottle of 2 liter, and it fell right on it, not from very far either, just kind of tipped over, and it made an indentation in the Tolex, kind of nicked the Tolex, and on most Tolex, will be able to survive that, but not on the Spark. So these are just some cons, pros and cons. The other thing is, instead of a regular handle like an amplifier, it's got this little leather belt type thing, right? Handle. And I don't know if that's just to be portable or what, but to me it would have made much more sense to just have a little handle. These are nitpicky things. Then there's another thing, and I don't know if people mention this or not, but there's something on this amplifier that makes me think that it's a toy, right? And I'll show you what that is. It's this right here. See that little thing right there? It's red there, right? I mean, you've got it. Looks a little bit like a Marshall, you got all the tone control. Then you got this little red tag, and I can't help but think that weren't a lot of Fisher-Price toys? Didn't they have a little red tag like that? Terrible choice. And to me, it's a real put off, as far as the cosmetics of it. If it was my amp, I would take that off. But it's not mine, so. Anyway, these are just little gripes and things. So, the other thing is, it comes with a wall wart. It's kind of like a very similar, like a laptop would be. You have to use this, external power supply. Not a big fan of those. I mean, I guess it's okay, So, again, pros and cons. The nice thing is it does have a light to tell you if it's on or off, and a You know, rather than just some little plastic switch or something, it's got an actual little metal switch here. I don't know if you can see that. There, right there. Right there, and there's the little light. Yeah, I keep seeing that little red thing. It says positive grid, but really, I'm surprised it doesn't say Fisher Price on it. It just looks like that, you know. So I'll plug it in here. Okay, so it's a stereo amp. It's got, you know, without using the app, it's got all the normal levels and things. But here, it's got very much like the Boss Katana or something. It's got 4 little presets. You know, so let's run through those real quick. So real nice kind of stereo chorus type sound. Switch just to the next preset. Kind of a crunch sound there. Yeah. So there, up the bass a little bit. You know, and for what it is, you know, the sound is really pretty good. And these are just whatever presets are in there. I don't know. Okay. I suppose if you match it out of the loudness of it. Okay. Anyway, those are the presets that are in there. And so I've got the output all the way up in the master about a little more than halfway, I think. are just, I don't know if they're stock presets or what, but, now, it really sounds, to me, in my ears, better when you're using the app, because you can choose different setups and things. So let's try that. And I've got an iPad here. So if I go to settings, click on Bluetooth, and boom, it says connected already. So it definitely picked it up, you know, that it was ready to go. So let's find the software here. So I click on the Spark app here. Connect. So it's searching for it. Successfully connected. Okay. And here you've got all different kinds of settings. So basically you've got all pop, blues, rock, metal, alternative, bass, acoustic. So it's got different setups here. I mean, we've got 4 channels. So if I click on all, for example, so here there's just setup after setup after setup of different sounds. So I'll pick a couple and play through them here. Comped Cleaner, okay. So I'll pick that one. And so it actually shows me an amp with the settings on there. I don't know if you can see that. And then I can choose what pedals to add. And so it's got different reverb. It suggests a certain pedal. And here I can change the actual reverb. So we'll change that to a plate long reverb. Here we go. And what's cool is that it really has the little pedals, and you can, just like a real pedal, you can turn the knobs and things, which I think is really cool. So we'll try that and see. Okay, let's try that one. Set it to just a reverb here. Maybe that's a little too much reverb. So let's turn that down a little bit. Here we go. Take the gain down a little bit on the amp here. So it really, and it's funny because you know, if you turn down the gain on the amp, it does turn it down here. And it very much reminds me of not quite, but almost like a deluxe reverb kind of. change the amp just for fun. Let's see how to do that. We can change the amp here. So we got all different kinds. Here's a Sunny 3000. Let's hear that one. Oh yeah, definitely changed the character of it. Let's hear that. Kind of more of a basement kind of sound. Here's another one, a different amp. Almost kind of sounds like a Marshall type frame. Just going through the different amps here. Here's an interesting one, jumbo. This is mostly for acoustic amps, or acoustic guitars. Sound there, and you can also choose by style. In fact, let's try that. Okay, so it's got pop, blues, rock, metal, alternative. Let's try metal. So here we've got, let's try heavy axe. Right. So we've got an amp here called Insane. And it's got the volume and it has a drive pedal. So it's got all kinds of different amps and pedals that you can choose. Here's kind of a distorted one. Okay, now I won't go over all the features of the amp, okay? There are plenty of videos doing that with the app and things. So I just want to give you my overall impressions of the amp. Okay, first off, the price. You know, we're talking about a little over $200. You know, so between probably a $250 range, that kind of thing, is probably average street price, I would think. And for what you get, it's a pretty good deal. I'm very impressed with all the application, you know, the pedal, the different kind of pedals and different amps and things. I mean, they really do respond remarkably well. Not to mention, you know, remember, this is a practice amp. You know, and with the application, you can do all kinds of things, even learning what you're playing and make rhythm chords and things out of them. If you're looking for a certain sound, you can find that and those kinds of things. And you can load up your own jams and things, you know. As a straight-out amp, it's really pretty good, but they really limited themselves, I think, you know, to have made it strictly a practice amp. You see, one, the size of the speakers, you know, it would sound so much better, you know, with bigger speakers, obviously, you know, and it's a real shame, I think. They kind of missed out on an opportunity. The other thing is there's no kind of pedal switching of the tones, not even the presets, you know, or of, you know, any kind of foot switch possibilities or external amp cab. You know, there's just no outputs for that at all. So when they say it's a practice amp, they mean it. You know, I suppose the only way to use it live, I guess, would be to come over and hit a preset on the amp to get a different sound, I guess. That could work. You know, and with those little speakers, you know, it's not really loud enough to gig with anyway. But I think they could have done more in that respect. You know, and why they chose just such small speakers. And I understand it's a practice amp, but even with that being said, it would have been so much nicer with a little bit bigger speakers. You know, though these are quite impressive for what they do, I have to admit. You know. And I guess had they chosen, you know, bigger speakers, of course it would add to the size of it and those kinds of things. But man, the sound would be just so much better. So that certainly has its limitations, you know. But I mean, if you compare it to little tiny, you know, little practice amps, you know, the old ones, you know, barely had any overdrive or anything at all. This is definitely a step up from that. And being able to choose different delay types and different reverb pedals and gain pedals and, you know, those kinds of things. I mean, I'm sure you could tailor it to sounds that you really liked. And as a learning tool, I think it's really great too, the applications. Really nice. But just know ahead of time, alright, this is a practice amp. Okay, and no matter what you do to it, it's not going to be more than that, you know, unfortunately. So that's a little disappointing, I think, you know. But, you know, it's not meant for that. It's really meant for kind of this, you know, putting it on your desktop and being able to just practice around, noodle around a little bit. And learning from that. Definitely a fun amp. Definitely. And you really can learn from it a lot. If anything, what pedals work best and those kinds of things. But beyond that, there's a lot more that it can do as well. You have songs it can play, and it can access Spotify, because remember, it's a Bluetooth speaker and so on. Really quite impressive. Yeah. So, highly recommend it anyway. But know ahead of time what you're getting. And it's fine for, small apartments and things, or it's relatively quiet and you just want to be able to hear your guitar, amplified. But, and, for what it is, the size, it gets pretty loud. But certainly don't even think about gigging with it or that kind of thing. So it's kind of a fun amp, and definitely a glorified practice amp. Is the best way to describe it. So definitely not for everyone. I see the price now is about $260, and for that amount of money, the technology is there, but $260 could buy quite a decent amp as well. I guess it depends what you're going for. But, when you compare that, you're getting all these pedals as well, virtual pedals, chorus, delay, reverb, and they're pretty good quality too. And in stereo, the price really isn't bad at all. And if you use it correctly, practice-wise, it can certainly make you a better player, I would think. So that's my review of the Spark. Definitely not for everyone, but if you know ahead of time what the limitations are, then you'd be pretty happy with it. Alright, that's it. See you next time. Bye.